Let's have an honest conversation. Some of you were never taught to choose what's best for you. You were programmed to choose what looks good, what feels familiar, what is socially approved, what earns validation, even if it doesn't like you, even if it doesn't treat you well, even if it slowly erodes your self-worth. Many women were conditioned, subtly and repeatedly, to believe that having a relationship is more important than having a healthy one, that being chosen is more important than being cherished, that endurance equals loyalty, that chasing equals love. But here's the truth. If someone does not like you, respect you, pursue you, value you, they are not your option. They are your lesson. You were socialized to accept the bare minimum. In Women Who Love Too Much, therapist Robin Norwood explains how many women are conditioned to attach themselves to emotionally unavailable or rejecting men. Not because they're weak, but because they were taught that love must be earned. When love feels uncertain, it feels exciting. When affection is inconsistent, it feels addictive. When someone doesn't like you fully, it triggers a desire to prove yourself. That's not romance. That's programming. And programming can be rewritten. The pick-me conditioning. Pick-me energy is the internalized belief that you must convince someone of your worth. That you must audition for love. That if you give enough, sacrifice enough, tolerate enough, you'll finally be chosen. In Attached, psychiatrist Amir Levine explains how anxious attachment styles form. When someone pulls away, the anxious partner chases harder. The rejection doesn't repel them, it activates them. You weren't taught to walk away from inconsistency. You were taught to fix it. You weren't programmed to say, "This doesn't feel good. I deserve better." You were programmed to say, "What can I do to make them choose me?" That is not self-worth. That is survival conditioning. Looking good versus being good for you. Something can look good and still be bad for you. Junk food looks good, tastes good. It's satisfying in the moment. But if it destroys your health, it's still poison. In The Body Keeps the Score, trauma expert Bessel van der Kolk explains how our bodies get used to familiar emotional patterns, even unhealthy ones. Chaos can feel like chemistry. Anxiety can feel like attraction. Sometimes you aren't attracted to him. You're attracted to what feels familiar. And familiarity is not the same thing as safety. If someone doesn't like you, if they show indifference, contempt, or emotional absence, your nervous system may still crave them. But craving is not compatibility. The cost of accepting what doesn't like you. When you chase someone who doesn't choose you, you are training yourself to accept less while giving more. You overextend. You overexplain. You overgive. You overstay. Just to say you have someone. But as Brené Brown writes in Daring Greatly, we cannot truly love others if we do not believe we are worthy of love ourselves. If you believe you must prove your worth, you will accept people who don't see it. And here's the hard truth. Staying in a relationship just to say you have one is abandoning yourself. Reprogramming yourself. If you want the benefit of a healthy relationship, you must unlearn the attraction to people who don't treat you well. In Atomic Habits, author James Clear teaches that behavior change begins with identity change. You don't just stop chasing. You become someone who doesn't chase. Instead of asking, "How do I make him like me?" you ask, "Do I even like how he treats me?" Reprogramming looks like no longer being impressed by inconsistency. No longer romanticizing emotional unavailability. No longer rewarding mixed signals with loyalty. You choose the option that chooses you. You choose the one who treats you the best. And if that option doesn't exist yet, you choose yourself. Stop chasing. You cannot chase someone into respecting you. You cannot convince someone into valuing you. And you cannot negotiate genuine desire. The healthiest relationships are reciprocal. In secure attachment, both people move toward each other. There is no audition. There is no competition. There is no performance. There is alignment. When someone doesn't like you, believe them. And redirect your energy. Because every ounce of effort you pour into someone who rejects you is energy stolen from someone who would cherish you. The final truth. You were not taught to go with what's best for you. You were taught to go with what looks good. What is socially impressive. What feels intense. But intensity is not intimacy. And attention is not affection. Unlearning, pick-me energy means this. You stop chasing men who don't like you. You stop accepting relationships that are not beneficial. You stop giving the most to receive the least. You choose what chooses you. And if it doesn't treat you well, it's junk food. No matter how good it looks. Reprogram yourself to expect reciprocity. Reprogram yourself to value peace over performance. Reprogram yourself to walk away from what does not value you. Because the moment you stop liking men who don't like you, is the moment your standards rise to meet your self-worth. And that's when everything changes.